In the heart of the Roman Empire, beneath the roar of the arenas and the cheers of tens of thousands, there lies another world, a place of sweat, dust, and discipline. It is called the ludus gladiatorius, the gladiator school. Here, men live not for freedom, but for survival. Some were slaves, some prisoners, some volunteers seeking fame or redemption. All are bound by the same fate: to fight, to endure, and to die well. This is a day in the life of a gladiator in training, circa 80 AD, in the shadow of the newly built Colosseum. The first light creeps through the barred windows of the barracks. Before the city stirs, the men of the ludus are already awake. The air smells of oil, sweat, and straw. Wooden practice swords, rudis, lean against the walls, worn smooth from endless drills. Each man sleeps on a simple cot, his body scarred and hardened. When the signal horn sounds, there is no hesitation. The gladiator rises, pulls on his tunic, and steps into the courtyard where the sand is still cold from the night. Around him, dozens of others gather in silence. Murmurs in Latin, Greek, Gaulish, and Nubian blending into a low hum of humanity. Their overseer, the doctor, stands waiting. A veteran of the arena himself, he carries the authority of death and discipline. His eyes sweep over the men, measuring, judging. He calls their names, assigning drills. To disobey means punishment. To falter means humiliation. In the ludus, order is survival. The day begins with conditioning, hours of relentless labor beneath the rising sun. Running laps around the courtyard, lifting stones, swinging heavy sandbags. Strength and endurance are forged here, not glory. The doctor's whip cracks through the air, not from cruelty, but from necessity. Each strike is a reminder. In the arena, hesitation kills. After the drills, the real training begins. Pairs of gladiators step into the sand, wooden swords in hand. They face each other, not as enemies, but as reflections. Both training to survive the same future. Our gladiator is young, perhaps 20, perhaps younger. Captured in war, sold at auction, his name stripped away. Here, he is known only by a new title, a stage name chosen by his lanista, the owner of the school. Perhaps he will be called Felix, the Lucky, or Draco, the Serpent. Names that sound strong, that sell tickets. He faces his partner, a tall Gaul with fierce eyes. They begin slowly. Strike, block, step, thrust. The doctore calls out corrections, watching every motion. Muscle, memory, and instinct. This is what separates the living from the dead. When the wooden blade catches his arm, pain flares, but he doesn't stop. Pain is constant here. Weakness is noticed. After hours of repetition, their arms tremble. Sweat burns their eyes. Only when the horn sounds again are they allowed to stop. The men lower their weapons, panting, sand caked to their skin. They are not yet warriors, but every day they come closer. By midday, the courtyard falls quiet. The men eat together in the refectory. Barley porridge, beans, bread, dried fruit. It is a humble meal, but heavy in carbohydrates, fuel for the body, the gladiator's diet. Despite their fate, there is camaraderie here. They laugh, share stories, patch each other's wounds. Some are former soldiers who lost everything. Others are criminals spared execution, now serving Rome's hunger for spectacle. And a few are octorati, free men who volunteered for the arena, signing their lives away for money, fame, or perhaps a taste of purpose. They eat together not as slaves, but as brothers in arms. Each knows that one day they may face each other before a roaring crowd. But until then, they train side by side. In the corner, the doctor eats alone, watching. He knows every man's strengths and flaws. He decides who lives long enough to fight in the Colosseum, and who will die here in the sand of the training yard. The heat of the afternoon settles over the ludus like a blanket. The men return to the arena, the sand now hot underfoot. Each fighter trains in a specific style, chosen to match his physique and temperament. The murmillo carries a broad shield and heavy gladius. The retiarius wields a net and trident, quick and elusive. The secutor wears a smooth, round helmet to deflect the net's snare. The Thraex, with curved sword and small shield, fights like the warriors of Thrace. Our gladiator is training as a murmillo, slow, powerful, built for endurance. He straps on his gear, the weight of the helmet, the pressure of the armor, the constriction of the greaves. It is suffocating, but he learns to move within it, to make the burden part of himself. The doctor commands him to face a retiarius, lighter, faster, mocking. They circle each other in the sand, the air thick with heat and tension. The trident lunges forward. He blocks, steps, counters. The net flashes through the air. He ducks, rolls, rises. Dust fills his lungs. Sweat blinds his eyes. This is not play. The doctor's commands echo like the voice of fate. Attack, defend, kill. Every move is meant for survival. When the horn sounds again, he lowers his weapon. His body shakes, his armor feels heavier, but his mind sharpens. The lesson is clear. In the arena, no one is faster than fear. As the sun dips westward, the lanista arrives. The owner of the school, a businessman, a patron, and a gambler. He walks the training yard with an entourage, inspecting the fighters like a breeder judging his horses. He watches the sparring pairs with interest, calling out praise or scorn. A few gestures decide fates. A nod means a place in the next games. Indifference means more months of training. When his eyes fall on our gladiator, he pauses. The young man's stance is steady, his gaze unflinching. Strong, the lanista murmurs, but raw. He orders the doctor to give him harder opponents. If he survives, he will fight in the amphitheater by spring. It is both an honor and a death sentence. After the day's drills, the men bathe in a cold basin, washing away the dust, the blood, the exhaustion. Scars crisscross their bodies, each a mark of the life they now live. As the sun sets, they return to the courtyard for evening roll call. The doctor announces punishments, promotions, and deaths from other ludi. The Empire's network of gladiator schools is vast. News travels quickly, and every name is a reminder that tomorrow's list could be theirs. When darkness falls, the men retreat to their cells. Some sharpen blades, others pray to Mars or Fortuna. A few whisper to one another, of family, of lost freedom, of what they'll do if they ever win the wooden sword that grants release. Our gladiator sits quietly, rubbing oil into his bruised arms. Outside, he can hear the distant hum of Rome, laughter from taverns, the cry of vendors, the faint echo of the Colosseum itself. He has never fought there, but he imagines it. The light, the noise, the sea of faces. He feels fear. But beneath it, something else, resolve. If he must die, he will die as a Roman demands, with courage, with strength, with honor. When the torches dim and silence falls, the doctor walks the courtyard one last time. He looks upon his men, warriors in chains, destined for the arena. He knows that by morning, the cycle will begin again. Drills, pain, sweat, and discipline. For the gladiators, there is no end, only the next fight, the next wound, the next chance to prove they still exist. And somewhere beyond the walls, Rome sleeps, unaware of the men who bleed to entertain her. The life of a gladiator was not only about death, it was about endurance, about the strength to face fear every day and still rise. Some found glory, some found freedom, most found only the sand and the sword. Yet in their struggle they became legends, not because they lived, but because they faced death and did not turn away. 2,000 years later, their echoes still linger, in the ruins of the Colosseum, in the stories Rome left behind, and in the eternal rhythm of men who fight not for victory, but for meaning.